or they're not supposed to rule from the bench, change the laws. I mean, they only supposed to make a judgment based on the Constitution of the United States. That's it. All courts are bound by the Constitution if the judge is a fair and righteous judge. That does his job. So, you have the right to pursue happiness. You have the right to freedom of speech. But you don't really care if you lose it. 4.5 out of 10 of you certainly don't care. And if you want to average it out, 38 and 55, basically 40-something% of you vote for representatives, senators, congressmen, governors, mayors, president, whatever. It's basically, 4 out of 10 people, 4.5 out of 10 people vote for all elections. So, if you average it out that way, more people do not vote in all elections eligible that they are eligible to vote for than do vote. And they bitch about and moan and gripe and complain and call the people names, and they think they have a right. When you don't vote, you basically give up your right to voice an opinion about how things are being done. Locally, statewide, federal government, whatever, you don't have the right and the privilege to complain to the rest of us if you're not going to vote. I'm just like, I just want to reach through, vote, please. And, vote for constitutional values, unless you just want this country to melt into the Greece and Italy and Spain and Ireland, you name all the... There's not a government on the planet that runs their country. There's not one really that has any true prosperity. Think about it. China's been around 5,000 years. Russia's been around, God, I don't really know, but let's just think about it. The Middle East, all these countries have been around for thousands of years. And then here comes these desperados, fleeing, running from, Europe and UK, and they're coming over here, and within 1607 landed in Plymouth Rock and signing the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Declaration of the 13 States, 1776. 1976, that was 200 years. So basically in 236 years, whatever, a little over 200 years, whatever, we came along out of nowhere. Through a civil war and slavery and, all kinds of horrible events have taken place in our history. But through it all, we are the dominant, wealthiest, freest, most prosperous, most charitable. Militarily, we're the strongest. Every single thing about America was based on these documents of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, all these words that were put together by our forefathers, men before us that came to this country and gave everything they had to form a more perfect union. And they did. And here we are. Just like the soldiers have gone to war to fight and preserve our freedoms, these guys, they went to war of sorts on their own, came over here bravely, braved the ocean. Luckily enough, they navigated it properly, and they got over here, and here we are. But it's getting to the point now to where this administration that's in office today, they just want to burn those documents. They have no respect for them at all. You know, Reagan and George Bush Sr., I mean, those are two men that, you know, McCain, you know, the kind of men that, regardless of some of the political woes or whatever, flip-flop, it doesn't really matter. Those men have dedicated their life to making America a great country. So let's not, you know, let's not be petty, you know, because, you know, when you point your finger at them, four of your fingers are coming back at you, you know, it's the old saying. So I think we all have our faults, and I think we're all sinners. I don't think there's any disputing that. But, you know, one man can change the world. And it can be you. And you can change the world simply by, you know, rolling up your sleeves and digging in your cleats and getting as many people the proper information they need to make the proper decision in November in 2012, and to get as many people to register and to help as many people as you can to the polls. Because in this republic I stand. I believe in America. I grew up in a wonderful time, I think. A handshake really did mean something. My word would mean something. You know, now we have people in the world that are making cartoons about killing Jews, or, you know, blowing, you know, suicide bombers walking into a Jewish market and blowing them all up, and the kids are laughing at it like it's funny. But that's extreme evil that is in the world. I mean, it's unimaginable. It's unconscionable that grown-ups would just destroy the life of a child that way. You know, children are the innocence of youth. They are the unconditional love givers in the world. They don't know any different. They just love you. And they make you love them. They take you back. It's like my dad told me, you don't really learn all of the values and morals and ethics of life when you're getting raised. I mean, you learn them, but you really learn them when you have children and you tell your children about the values that you were taught. And day by day and week by week, you are repeating yourself to those children the values that they doggone well better have when they grow up under your roof. And in turn, you become a much stronger charactered, integrous human being yourself, because you're actually building your character while you're building theirs. So anyway, you know, this these documents are what we're voting for. The survival of those documents.